smacking some kind of lip or something, because all I heard the whole time was like,
well, I don't hear you doing anything.
Doing now,
I don't
but I am very sorry. That was not my
Well-
intention to have background noise.
For the record,
was-
I don't think the rest of us heard anything.
yeah, because it was through the stream. I was watching the stream, so it caught his, like, mic particularly.
I was probably snacking on something and didn't realize it was picking up. I honestly don't remember. I apologize. But
He just
hi
likes to
Justin.
smack his lips.
Yep, for 2 hours
Hi,
straight, just
Justin.
smacking my lips. Also, hi Escher, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Hi, Aldrich.
Aldrich is dead.
Aldrich is fine. He's just hanging out with his sexy ooze mother.
Yep.
Words I never wanted to say. So who would like to give a quick recap of last session?
Zach, you created this scenario.
Yeah, it's my fault. I accept that.
So
Okay,
last
so-
session, we had an Agni Kai, and by that I mean Kai got agnied pretty hard, and
Then Tavra
eventually, as Formith stepped in to do the killing blow and absorb my power, Fawks and Tavro stepped in and started to kick Formith's butt, and eventually we defeated him using the power of friendship.
and water.
Yeah,
And then
falling
he
into water
And then-
made
I
his sword a
my-
bit sad.
And then you all came to Clara's room to commence the sleepover.
Yes.
And she showed you where she's been staying for the past few days. Taught you about these things called movies. And tried to get you all to participate in her gluttonous ways. And you found out she's kind of fucked up now. As in, she was totally okay with having her servants kill themselves for her entertainment. And then she fell asleep.
Yeah, without spilling any secrets.
Well, you didn't wake her up. You could have woke her up and asked her things, but
Yeah, Color comes up in the bed. I turn away for 1 second. I look over and he's just drinking my water. I just got that.
Speaking of secrets, I think Fawks also did a little secret.
Fox looked into the void, and it said, "Yo, what up?"
And with that, I think we're good to start the session. So, you all gain the benefits of a long rest, as over the next few hours, you're able to relax. It is strange being in such an opulent bedroom with such nice bedding and everything, and yet being in a lumpy pile of sheets on the floor at Clara's insistence. Tavro apparently gets a bit big at some point and rolls over onto Escher, smothering him.
This
But
is the way.
the night passes uneventfully. Everyone is able to gain the effects of a long rest, and you all begin to wake up to kind of the muffled chatter of voices outside. Not like outside the room, but if you've ever been around where like you're near a street where a parade is happening or a festival is like a few blocks away and you can kind of hear the ambient sounds of that, it sounds like a crowd is beginning to gather outside the mansion.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's party day! Whoop, whoop.
Well, I certainly suppose we have to go out there.
Clara, do you know what exactly the plan is for this celebration?
Well, as much as I know is that one, I'm home, and so Mama's gonna introduce me to everyone, and two, Formith was successful on his big mission, and so we're celebrating his successes.
And around this time, you hear a raspy knock on the door to the room.
Come in.
One of the kobold thralls opens the door and goes, "Ma'am, your presence has been requested by the lady of the house. Your friends are welcome to join you, as they will be given... They are being treated as special guests during the performances of the day."
Ooh, that's so exciting, guys. Let's go. And she like scurries over to follow them.
So, it's not really much of a visual. I'm just gonna put you back on the first floor. I've learned my lesson from putting like 200 tokens on a map to simulate a crowd, so I'm just gonna let you know that it is bustling down here. So you head down, and throughout the halls, like, various people are heading back and forth. You're being led by this kobold to not the dining room, but rather, let me pull you all over to it. You are brought to the same area as Hikara and Formith, who are seemingly in a kind of chapel area. Which, it's gonna yeet you. Give it a second.
All being yoked.
So you are brought to a small room that has an altar at the front that Hikara, Formith, and Clara recognizes Zarilla, all standing in front of the altar while two of the kind of kobold servants are just on their knees praying. And there are like these various prayer mats set up throughout the room. And the three blood witches are discussing as the kobold leads you in and goes, "Ma'am," and then steps back out. And Hikara turns, sees you all, and goes, "Good morning, I trust you all slept well. As you can see, people have started arriving. Are you ready for... Well, it seems most of you are new to the Rakdos, so are you ready for the first taste of true revelry?"
Oh, don't worry, Mama. We've spent time in a Rakdos bar before, or what was it called?
Nightclub, the Gore House.
We've spent time in the nightclub. Even Mr. Kai, he's actually really good at fighting in the pit. Isn't that right, Mr. Kai?
That was exactly one time.
Oh, that
Yep,
will
like
actually
I said,
be...
he's super good.
That will be perfect for one of our events this morning, then. I will count you in as a fighter, then. Wonderful.
I did not... Never mind.
Kai?
Yay!
You made me a little bit of money last time. I have hope you'll do the same this time.
Oh, there is much betting. So, yes, if you'd like to fight, we can absolutely make you all some money, assuming you win. Plus, it'll be a good test of your skills for the battles forthcoming.
Or there will... Ah, fuck. Will there be pastries?
The entire event is catered with anything you might desire, Tavro.
Whoa.
Food, liquor, drugs, whatever you want, we can surely procure it for an esteemed guest such as yourself. Assuming you fight in the pits.
Sure.
Hey, Mama, am I gonna have to give a speech at this? Because I'm not really good at public like, pushing her foot into the ground all nervous, like.
It may be good for you to say a few words, but I will be handling the formal speech.
Oh, good, okay.
Laura,
Yeah?
who is that?
Oh my gosh!
And-
oh!
Yeah, so
and she,
you
like,
all
hits
do
herself
see
on the head.
You do all see a lizard folk who's kind of just like half paying attention and half fiddling with something. Like, you see she has a series of potions and reagents on a belt, and like even now she's like nervously fiddling with them, even if not actively working on them. And as you kind of call out, she goes, "Oh, yes. My name is Arilla. I am the sister of Clara."
She's the one that turned her dad into a potted plant. Isn't that hilarious?
Well,
Yes, that is something I've done.
well, she is green.
Charming.
And you all are Clara's friends, then?
Indeed.
And she kind of like looks you all over, and then eventually seems to settle on Escher, and goes, "You look useful. We'll talk later."
I imagine this is the part where Escher is like, "Oh, we absolutely will. I have plenty of questions for you," as he's sketching her outline.
Exactly. And then from now on, Escher is going to be quiet for the rest of the session because Vinny's not here.
Whoa.
He is around. If a fight breaks out, he will be on default mode, but we're just going to say that he's quiet and he can retcon any discussions he wanted to have.
He's just taking notes the entire time.
Exactly.
Like one of your specimens.
Hmm. But yes, so today's festivities, people are beginning to arrive. Tavro, you're the one who brought those performers, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yes, I've told them that you will be meeting them shortly to go over performances that will be done today, so really, today is a day of revelry and celebration. Shortly, I will be giving a bit of a speech to all of our guests here. Nothing too important, just it's always nice to have a speaker. And then, well, feel free to celebrate to your heart's content. Most of the celebrations will involve a little bit of, well, a lot of debauchery. But if you're looking to make money, then I would recommend either gambling or the fighting pits. There is a gladiatorial arena under the mansion. That is where I will be spending most of my day, and you're welcome to join.
Now, this may seem like a silly question, but are the fights to the death at this event?
Well, you're always welcome to surrender or spare the other person if you want, but there won't be any enforcement of killing or preserving the lives of the fighters.
Understood.
When you enter the ring, you accept that it's between you and any other fighters who are there as well.
After that, I'm gonna back up and get next to a Fawks and just be like, "Listen, Fawks, you know that I'm good in a battle. How much money do you think we can make today?"
A lot.
Fox is just gonna like open his wallet, close it, look at him, and say, "Depends how much all this money can get us back.
Well, I'm thinking that it sounds like there may be the opportunity for multiple fights, in which case, you may be useful in bringing me back to tip-top shape.
I have a couple options. Some of them might be a little more discreet than others. We'll have to review the rules.
Yes,
Oh.
I imagine I can hold my own against whatever they decide to throw in the ring with me.
Oh,
At least
this
enough to
isn't
not
like
get
in
myself
the.
killed.
This is not like the 10th district at all. There's only one rule. You enter the pit, you must fight. If you'd like to support, be my guest. Although, if you aren't subtle enough and others in the crowd are upset by your interference, well, let's just say a new fight might break out.
No disrespect, Lady Kara. I merely was suggesting that maybe I get healed in between fights, so that the revelry may continue.
Tavro, I'm not sure there is an in-between.
Well, like there's a couple seconds at least between them throwing someone else in with me.
Once again, there's not much when it comes to rules in the war parties. You're welcome to do whatever you see fit. Just understand that so is every other guest. You are esteemed guests, but that does not mean that I will be offering protection in the fight pits.
Understood. Thank you.
Approximately how many people do you usually see at an event like this?
And she kind of like beckons to the chatter of voices you can hear outside and goes, "Oh, there will definitely be a few hundred here. How many will make it to the fight pits? Probably a few dozen. And then actually fighting, a few less than that. But many of Winlot's residents will be in attendance this morning, I do believe."
Good to know.
Any other
So
questions
what you
before
guys
we
doing
begin?
at the altar? What's going on at the altar?
Ah, yes, well, we always have at least some of the thralls praying to the Blessed Blood. And it seemed a good place for a familial discussion before we join the rest of the party. Most won't come in here, whereas the rest of the mansion is free reign.
Well, aren't I part of the family?
You are in this room, aren't you?
Oh, well, I thought you guys were doing something that I maybe was supposed to be a part of.
That is why you were summoned by one of the thralls.
Oh, okay, I'm ready. As she like gets up in the line.
And Hikaru kind of just puts a hand on you, on your shoulder, and goes, "Today, just appear strong. If you're willing to fight, now that would be a great boon indeed." But
And she like Clara's like puffing out her chest, trying to be all big and intimidating, when like she is clearly the least intimidating of the family.
yes, very good. But truly all I need from you today is, in a few moments when I make a speech to the crowds, you by my side.
I can do that for sure.
Wonderful. Do any of you need anything before we get the festivities underway?
I think we're all good.
Yeah.
Very well. And once again, shit ton of tokens. I'm not gonna move everything around. We're gonna do a little bit of theater of the mind here. But she kind of leads you all out up to the second floor and then out onto a balcony in front of, you can see kind of down onto the first floor where it's open air, and then out in front where there are just people of every size, shape, color, species gathering, chatting. There, like, you can already see a few, like, merchants and peddlers trying to sell meals and stuff outside of the gates of the mansion. You're able to see, like, a few, and hear just, like, a few random arguments breaking out. There are some, roaming performers who are performing, both in the mansion and outside. Tavro, you are able to see the Grim Jesters setting up something on the first floor, and you can see where you'll be able to find them after this speech is complete. But you see as Hekar kind of, like, her hand starts to glow a little bit, and she raises it to her throat, where her voice then immediately becomes amplified many times over. And as she begins to speak, the chatter of the various attendees kind of stops and grows silent as the masses look up to Hikara and her children. The rest of the party is kind of standing back a little bit, not right on the balcony, but more of watching the speech from behind. And she shouts, "Cultists of Rakdos, allies of the Blessed Blood, I welcome you. As inheritor of the Lord of Riot's blessing, I stand before you with news to shape the future of our guild and all of Ravnica beyond." And you see as she puts a hand out onto Formith's shoulder. "My son Formith has successfully returned home after completing his greatest crusade yet, taking the head of Politus. To those who follow my sister in her heresy, let this be a signal of who shall lead the cult when the noble blood begins to flow. In addition to such triumphs, my daughter, Clara, has been found, and my family is now complete." And she now reaches out and puts a hand on you, Clara, and actually kind of, like, grabs the back of your tunic and lifts you up a little bit so that you're able to be seen over the balcony. It's been a long and treacherous journey, but now we finally have the key to what my mother started those centuries ago. But our work is not yet done. There's still one more obstacle that stands in our way. Lysata. She holds the second key to Isolde's crypt, and we must claim it if we are to awaken Lord Rakdos from his slumber. I know some of you may be hesitant about this, but I assure you that we do not take it lightly. My sister has betrayed us and our way of life, abandoned debauchery and revelry for heresy. It is with regret that I must hold her responsible. In the coming days we shall march upon my sister's home and take that which is my birthright. We shall awaken the Lord of Riots to fight with us against the tyranny of the Boros Legion. We shall take the Guild Pact and reforge it, with us as the rightful rulers we should always have been. I'm sure you've noticed that Ravnica is shifting. The druids of the old ways preach their madness. Ancient beasts, long since extinct, once again walk the land. And plagues not yet understood ravage the minds and bodies of those infected. The land cries out in hunger for the first revelry, and we shall be the ones to sate it. Soon, those who join me will begin their conquest, but first we answer the divine call that has brought each and every one of us into the cult of Rakdos. Now we show Winlot revelry it hasn't seen since the old ways. Celebrate the victories that have passed and those yet to come. Join me in the greatest party Ravnica has ever seen." And you see as throughout all of this, some of the kobolds are, like, shifting and setting things up, and a few of them use like basic fire magic on their hands to light some fuses. And as the speech ends, you see as some fireworks go up around the balcony and explode in the sky, forming a sparkling and shimmering version of the sigil of Rakdos, as you see people in the crowds and in the mansion below begin to cheer and whoop, and it's as if a knife has cut the rope of tension and people are just going wild now.
I would like it to be known that as she's giving that speech, Clara's eyes just got bigger and bigger, and she was staring at her group of friends like, "Oh, this doesn't sound good," because she like had no idea of the intention, and she's kind of like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, Gideon looks very uneasy right now. Like, as uncomfortable as you can possibly imagine.
What would you all like to do as you see the party beginning to break out in the mansion and grounds below you?
Clara would kind of snap out of her bug-eyed look at her friends and light one of her sparkler things and be like, "Yay! Go Rakdos!"
Also, this is
Bravo.
a bit more appropriate.
Yes, Fawks.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
No. No, we are not.
Gideon kind of like looks at Tavro and he's like, "We can't let this happen." Like kind of silently under his breath so that way no one else around them hears it.
I'm gonna whisper in Gideon's ear and also kind of like look at Fox and kind of like just slightly nods at, so like he can hear as well if he wants to, and just be like, it doesn't sound like anything has really happened yet, but something big is coming. This may be, this may be surprising to hear from me, but this may be an excellent opportunity to legally murder as many of these people as we can.
There's
didn't
also
think about
something
it.
else. There's something
also
else
what?
we might be able to accomplish here. And Zach, this is where, can I have said I spent part of the long rest carving into the worm's tooth that I took?
Sure, yeah. The long rest is like 6 hours of sleep, and then you usually have like 2 hours of just light activity, where you can do whatever you want. So, what
Would
are
I be
you
able to
carving
make
into it?
So it would fit into something I could cast augury using, which it specifically says specially marked sticks, bones, or similar tokens.
Sure, give me either a... You know what? That is a religious spell, so I will say Arcana, Religion, or if you have like a Tinker's Tools or Smithing Tools, you can use those if you'd prefer.
Religion feels the most appropriate.
Because that's one of the like divine spells where it like you ask basically the DM for an answer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that, I would say Religion check. Yeah, well, with a 12, you're able to get it enough. It's something that, while you haven't done in the past, is part of your standard training within the Orzhov. So, given 2 hours, it's not like this isn't going to become a holy relic passed down through your family or anything, but it's certainly enough to cast the spell.
So the way it works is you receive an omen about a specific course of action you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following possible outcomes: wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe for mixed, nothing for no results. It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as casting additional spells.
Gotcha. Would you like to
So-
describe what you're about to do and then cast augury?
How much information do we know about the contact that we need to find?
A
To the
code name. That's it.
The thing is, I know for a fact we can't find him with our currently Known information? Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. This might be metagamey as shit.
This is literally a metagame spell. If it's too much, I'll tell you you can't do it. But, like, you're welcome to ask.
So, the thing is, I could try saying, if I try to locate creature on the entity known as insert codename, would I find it?
Delancra, you do know that. Yeah, that is a fine thing. So the way that the spell said is it doesn't take into account like additional actions, but you are telling it its plan. You are telling it your plan. You will know whether it is a good or bad result.
Okay.
You won't know anything beyond that, but like I would say Augury is a 3rd level spell, right?
Augury is a 2nd level. The thing is, locate creature is a 4th. So this is me trying to be like, is this person anywhere near me?
If you would like to spend a 2nd level spell to know whether or not you have a valid target for a different spell, I am fine with that. I feel like that is a proper use of divination magic.
Then I will use Augury. Hold up, let me consume it. And I'm going to basically say, if I look for our target using the locate creature somewhere in this premises, would there be a chance of finding them?
Can you also paste locate creature just so that I know the wording of that?
Come on, locate creature, do the thing. Bada.
I can also look it up if it's given you issues.
I just posted it.
Okay, thank you. 1,000 feet of you? So you begin, like, channeling these thoughts and describing it into the, tooth of the worm that you've now carved these arcane religious symbols. And you notice, like, almost subconsciously, you didn't realize it at first. When you were carving the symbols, you included a lot, like, it is written in Celestial and Arcane Sigils. Some of it has slipped into the old Celestial. You didn't intentionally do it,
worms.
but it started naturally kind of happening. And as you describe the course of trying to see if this creature is within, this person, Delancra, is within 1,000 feet of you, you feel it go. You actually hear as you see as the horn, which you have now like placed up, starts to spin and go off to the left, which you know is wheel. And then you hear in your mind, you don't need to just use magic. You can always ask.
Pecan brainworms. I will use my own skills.
If that's how you wish to contact me. And then the connection ends. But you do get the result of wheel. If you cast this spell in the next 15 minutes, it is likely that you will find your target.
Alright, so I'm just gonna sort of I'm imagining everyone is like doing their own thing while I'm like squatting in the corner with like a giant bone speaking into the tooth, and then I sort of like hobble back with my big carved tooth and say, "The bones have spoken. We can find him, Kai."
Yeah, and that is a minute-long ritual, so you're doing this while that is happening. Hikara finishes her speech, turns around to you all, and goes, Tavro, I believe your troop is waiting for you. If the rest of you would like to join me in the gladiatorial pits beneath the mansion, that is where I shall be for the rest of the day. And then she looks at you, Fawks, and goes, interesting, and just keeps walking.
I also realized it's a ritual cast, so can I say that I'd spend the 10 minutes to do that instead of using the spell
You
slot?
can spend 10 minutes instead of 1 minute if you would like.
Okay, thank you.
Zach,
Yes.
once Akara finishes her speech, does Formith just kind of like stand around stoically as he do, or
Oh, no.
is he doing something? Or...
Both of Hikara's other children, other than Clara, begin to follow her towards the fighting pit. But if you like reach out or like call out to him, he will stop and talk to you.
Yes. As I start going, I'm gonna just run up, and try to start talking to him, and just be like, Formith, do you mind if I have a word?
Yes, Tavro.
First of all, I just wanted to say that that sword of yours is really something, and it got me thinking. If I'm going to be fighting in the fighting pits today, and I kind of just like nod and like point with like my thumb to my back, like in the spear, and just be like, I've got this spear here, but it seems like with the odds increasing every day against us, or at least growing stronger, that I might be in the market for something new. Do you happen to know where to find something like that? Or how to obtain one?
There's an armory on the first floor. You are welcome to take any weapons from there, but they are mundane. I'm sure Kai can give you a better explanation of my bond with the sword. It is not something you simply find, nor are there many to go around. It is my bond with Daragaz.
Yes, I understand. I figured that was the case, but that actually is quite helpful. I was considering trying a new weapon to see how I like it. So I may do just that. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Just that, go to the armory or find a dead dragon?
Oh no, I want to go to the armory and loan out a greatsword if they have one.
Yeah. So you are able to do that, but before you do, he does just leave you with, if you're looking for more than a simple weapon, the great forge smith Azoth is skilled in making unique weapons, armor, and artifacts. If you find a weapon style you like, take it, bring it to him. I'm sure he can suit it to your needs.
Understood, thank you. And then I will go and go find the troop in Yovaz.
Are you heading to the armory first or to the troop first?
I will go to the troop first.
Alright. Are the rest of you going with Tav? Are you staying as a group, or are you all just gonna split up and do your things? I guess is the question.
Clara's gonna follow her mother.
Okay.
I am going to force Kai to help me locate this man.
Yeah, the second I know that you were trying to contact, Delancre, I was going to focus on that.
I'll go with Tavro.
Alright. So we'll start with Tavro and Gideon. So you head to one of the kind of like larger empty, it's almost like a practice room. You do see that there's like a piano and some instruments on the wall, and you see the troop. They're kind of finishing up their setup, doing some vocal exercises. You see as they're pulling various weapons and flammable oils and torches out of their caravan rucksacks, and as you enter, like the door clangs, and you see as Yovas turns around, sees you, Tavro, and goes, Tavro! Thank you for the introduction to the mansion. It will be a great honor to perform for the war party.
Of course, I'm glad that you could have this opportunity. I wanted to see you before you actually performed. Speaking of which, when is that exactly? By the way, I don't think you've been. I think you've seen my friends, but you haven't been introduced. This is Gideon.
How do you do?
A pleasure. Well, our performance is less of the fighting variety and more of the visual and audible spectacles. There seems to be a garden in the center of the mansion. I think we'll be setting up shop there for a while. Will you be joining us for a performance today? We'd love to have that little shriek you do.
Well, that is the question. You see, I was rather planning on fighting in the fight pits, and I just kind of like put like my hands up and go, imagine this, Yovas. I'm fighting someone in the fight pits. I bring out that, and not only do I terrify the one I'm fighting, but I terrify half the crowd.
And he just looks at you, and it's strange because he is wearing this like skeletal jester's mask, it looks like. And every time you've spoken to him, like, the mask doesn't move. Now, the skeletal like face, the mouth curls into a smile in a way that is deeply unsettling, and he goes, Oh yes, that sounds delightful. Would you like the band to play you on?
Oh, now that might be something.
Let us know when you're heading into the pits. We'll wrap up in the gardens and head down. We'd love to cheer on a fellow star.
Very well, that sounds good. I will still consider helping you in your performance. However, I just will not be able to do what I did yesterday. But I can still pull out some of the stops, and like I just like cast thaumaturgy and just kind of like try to like mimic that like horrible, well, not like screech, but like I try to like basically roar with thaumaturgy, not at full blast because I don't want everyone to suddenly look at me, but still like a decent bit.
And he goes, very good. Yes, why don't we do this? You let us know when you're fighting. We'll play you on down there in exchange for a cut of whatever your winnings are. And then, later on, you pull out that majestic voice of yours for some of our playing in the gardens. A deal?
What percentage?
Oh, let's say for every 50 gold you make, we get 1.
Very well.
Did Tavro
And I'll
just get a
hold up my
bunch
hand
of
as if
free
to shake
bardic
on it.
inspirations?
And he, like, sets out a hand, and as you do so, he goes, Now if you get us before the call, before your ticket is called, we'll play you on. But for now, and he puts a hand on your shoulder, you've got this. You gain a bardic inspiration.
Yes. And I just kind of nod. And then unless Gideon, you have anything you wanted with the troop, I might just head to the armory and basically just practice with a greatsword for like a minute or two, if they have one.
No, that's fine. I'll come with you to the armory and see if they have any other weapons there that might be of use.
Gotcha. And I also have to get some water and really have to pee, so maybe move on to someone else.
Sure. Yeah, we'll come back to you because you're pretty simple at that point.
Ye-
All right. So Gideon and Tavro head to the armory. Clara, because you're just going with your family, they lead you down almost like directly at this point to the fight pits. And you just see as it's still kind of getting set up. And it's more of like there's some sparring going on in the middle, but it is a large underground arena that is, there are like these stone stairs coming down from the mansion, and then it opens up over a pit where you see far down below there are streams of lava going back and forth, and in the center, hanging from the ceiling, are cages where spectators and prospective fighters are gathering and kind of hanging above the fight arena, which is a large metal disc kind of suspended into the middle of the room by chains heading up to the ceiling with the sigil of Rakdos carved into it. And the fighting hasn't started yet, but you can see as you and your family kind of head to one section of the stairs where there is almost a like throne area for viewing set up, and you all gain seats there. And you hear as bookkeepers and barkers are shouting out, getting bets in, saying who's going to start fighting, ask if there are any gladiators who would like to fight. So it's mostly logistical at this point. Fawks and Kai.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
As they're walking there, she's gonna be handing out sparklers to everybody she passes, and being like, "Happy party to you, happy party to you," and but as she gets to the pit, like she's kind of realizing all of her, past traumas and having flashbacks to her childhood, like she did when she first was in the Gore House, and she kind of is like starting to like clam up and get kind of like tense, and like her spirits walking out of the initial like patio were really high, and she's gotten to this point where she's just like focusing on breathing and like trying to like unclench her fists and like being really stiff.
All right. So two things with that. One, everyone you hand a sparkler to, this is a strange sensation for you. You've gotten used to like the kobolds and staff being deferential to you over the last few days. Every person you hand a sparkler to bows to you as you do so.
Hell yeah, I'm a motherfucking princess.
Yeah.
The Rakdos get members by love bombing them and making them feel special. But as you're kind of heading down and you're letting the nerves kind of take you over a little bit, as you get settled into the like seated viewing area, Zarilla kind of pats you on the shoulder and just hands you a bottle and goes, "The first one's always a bit strange. Here, this should help with the nerves."
Oh, what is it?
One of my own concoctions, don't worry. It's not particularly experimental anymore. But it should help with nerves.
Are you sure it's safe?
No.
Most definitely probably safe.
Oh, okay, I trust you. And she like takes or starts drinking it.
All right.
And Clara's high.
As you gulp it down, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh God.
What did you think was gonna happen?
Liquid courage.
That is enough to pass. So you feel
Oh, yeah.
as you kind of like gulp it down all at once, and it is like your throat and nostrils are on fire for a few seconds. but you're able to keep it down. And then, after a few moments, you start to feel just a little bit loosened up. You just took your first shots.
Oh god.
It's literally just a homebrew liquor. The Constitution saving throw was to see if you could get it down. But you just took a few shots of moonshine. So, do with that as you will. But you're starting to feel a little bit tipsy after a few minutes.
Clara's, what, like 4 feet tall? 70 pounds wet?
Oh yeah, she's just blast.
Oh, I will get you soundboard permissions in a second.
You really shouldn't.
But
Why won't this
Fawks-
gift do the gift?
Fawks and Kai, what would you like to do as the group kind of sets off in their various ways? And I'll also say that Escher's kind of just tagging along with Tavro and Gideon, just following along, taking notes of all of the revelers around.
Yeah.
Kai, what's everything we know?
We know we are looking for Delancre, and that's about it.
Descriptor, name, where were they supposed to be?
Rick's body.
Well, I suppose magic might be our only hope.
I'm trying so hard not to metagame things that you didn't just tell me.
I'm just gonna be like, I spoke to the Tooth, and well, we might be able to locate him somewhere in this part. I know that much.
Alright, I think everybody should have soundboard permissions now.
Time to spam sounds. Oh my god.
Whoop.
I can do it, but it might be a little suspicious if someone recognizes me just starting to cast Locate Creature in the middle of the dance floor.
Evacuate the dance floor.
I don't know if you have any other method. Otherwise, I think that's our only option.
I mean, we could try to encode thoughts who we're looking for, and if we happen to pass them, they'll see that we have a message.
That is.
Hi, buddy.
That might be Encode thoughts can only be seen by people that can cast it and also detect magic, right?
Yeah, so any sort of magic that can detect other magics can pick it up, but by default, it is people who can cast it or who are familiar with the spell can see them by default, because it is a kind of form of illusion magic. It is... Give me an Arcana check, actually.
It is how we found Tavro, after all.
Yeah, so you don't know if this is something... exactly how far other magics get to decoding it. Anything that can see through illusions can probably see through it. So detect magics, identifies near it might pick it up. Anything with true sight, although those are rare, would probably be able to see it. Decoding it is probably only encode thoughts and high-level magics. The
Well,
one thing
that
you
might be-
do know with a 14, though, is fiends can often see through illusion magic, and there are low-level demons attending this party.
Oh. My suggestion was perhaps you, well, disguise yourself, and then we place it in code thoughts on top of you, and you just sort of prance throughout the party grounds so that, well, if someone could see the magic, they wouldn't immediately know it's us trying to radar out something, or just that we have some magic on top of us. Though, I fear some things here might be able to see through any disguise you would put on, but it might still be a good idea. The thought being, as this is a party, what if you just disguise yourself as something costumed up, something purposeful? That would still hide your identity, of course.
I certainly could. Though, as you said, if anything sees through the illusion, I feel that would put a bigger target on my back than we already have. Knowing that we have something to hide like that.
What about... I'm just gonna sort of look him up and down and be like, maybe we could do something more physical, disguising-wise.
I do have the tattered robes we use to walk around, the Gore House, but...
I think those are too low class, though. I'm gonna try to find one of the kobold servants.
And they are, like, abundant and around. Like, there's quite a few that are walking around, like, with the hors d'oeuvre trays and various little appetizers and drinks on those. There are some that are just kind of standing around guarding various rooms. It's very easy to find one of them. And at this point, they've all been trained to recognize your party. So as you approach, one of the ones who's just guarding a door kind of bows his head and goes, esteemed guest.
Is there any way we could possibly get a change of clothes and perhaps something more fitting to the Rakdos as, well, I'm just gonna sort of look down at both of our clothes and then look back at the servant and say, they sort of stick out like a sore thumb and would feel a bit more comfortable if we had something more Rakdos-y.
Yes, of course. We have a tailor on staff. I'm sure that he has some standard Rakdos garb available. Wait here, I'll be back in a moment. And you see as the kobold kind of runs off, and after maybe 4 or 5 minutes, he goes, I believe these should fit you properly. If not, I can bring you to the tailor, and I'm sure he can make some quick adjustments. Although, to be honest, it seems he's been partaking in the revelry a bit himself, and I would trust his completed work more than anything he's currently doing. But he hands you two. They're definitely a bit more of like the finery that the kobolds wear, but they're kind of like these long, kind of halfway between a suit, but with almost robe bottoms, in the standard kind of like black and red Rakdos colors, and throughout the like lapels and stuff, it is embroidered with the sigil of House Hikara.
Well, Kai?
I suppose it'll work.
And they
I'll
fit
go.
you well enough. Like, it's not perfect, but you're able to move, you'd be able to fight in them. Might just be riding up a little bit or a bit baggy in places.
Mm-hmm. We could do this. Then I could try to pair it with an accessory, a ribbon on the wrist, maybe.
I didn't know you were so fashion-minded.
Would you like accessories? We have hats, scarves, ribbons, bow ties.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, this will be all.
Could I get a fancy hat? Something to cover this as I take my helmet off and half of my face is tattooed up.
And he looks you in the face, and like he didn't really notice it before because you were wearing your helmet. And like there's very little of your skin that is exposed at any given time, given your armor. But he kind of like looks you up and down, and he goes, and he goes, one more moment, sir, and he goes back into like the same room and comes out with a like a jester's mask with like one of the hats with the bells on the end of it.
This'll do fine, as I'm gonna put it on and then sort of like nod at Kai and say, I feel I'm a bit more discreet at least.
Ah, yes. Discreet.
It certainly draws attention away from that.
What would you like to do next? Are you casting anything? Are you going to run around shouting, Delancra, are you here?
I am going to say we should go to a secluded corner, cast encode thoughts on both of us, and then just meander.
Well, encode thoughts, you can pull it out as a strand, and the spell specifically says it can look like a ribbon, which is why I said I wanted to perhaps tie the encoded thought around my wrist and just kind of walk around. And the encoded thought is literally just the name Delancre.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so you're able to pull out the kind of encoded thought of Delancre. You tie it around your wrist, knowing that it'll be indistinguishable from a normal ribbon to most people, but anyone with the insight of either the spell or anything that can see through illusion magic will see like the glowing blue of the ribbon. And you begin to walk around, and I need you to give, I'm gonna say either a sleight of hand or a performance check to like how subtly you're able to get your wrist in front of as many people's faces as possible without drawing suspicion to yourself.
I'm gonna go for
he's
the
gonna do a
+3
fancy
instead
dance.
of the -1.
He's
but
gonna
I'm
do
so
a
far
fancy
gonna
dance.
roll in that one. Alright, I'll take it. 17.
And a 17 is pretty good. So over the next, I'll say 30 or so minutes, you're kind of just like walking around doing small talk mingling with as many of the guests as possible, and always making sure that at some point you get like your wrist in front of like directly in their line of sight, well enough where if they were able to see it, they would be able to.
Yeah, let's say I would either like shake people's hand, or like, since I'm wearing robes that are like clothes that don't quite fit, I would like adjust a shoulder with that hand or something.
Yeah, that is solid. Over the next half hour of mostly staying on the first floor, it seems that the stairs to the second floor are like boxed off by guards. If they are on the first floor, you have not found them. They might be outside of the mansion in the like surrounding area, where you do still hear the chatter of people who are kind of like turning it into a lawn party outside of the official grounds. And there is also the under mansion fight pit.
Fawks, any choice?
I'm gonna suppose we're gonna like group back up, or like, well, fall around after this and sort of be like regrouping. And I have a feeling we try one more place, and then if that fails, I will try locate person. So I'm gonna say perhaps we should go to the more exclusive area.
Let's do that.
All right, so after half an hour, 45 minutes, Tavro, are you back?
Yes.
So you and Gideon are able to seek out the armory, and you do see that, like, at that point, there's quite a few people who are there, like, trying out various things, doing a little bit of sparring. You hear some chatter about, like, people getting ready for the fight pits underground. And you do see there are some of the kobold thralls around the armory, and there are a few racks of weapons that all seem to be fairly well maintained, great swords among them.
Yes. Does it seem like there's someone I have to like rent it out with, or can I just nab one?
If you go to take it, like, one of the thralls kind of comes up to you and goes, "May I help you, sir?"
Yeah, I'll just go. Yes, I am planning on fighting in the fight pits, but I was thinking of a change of weaponry. Would it be all right if I loaned this out?
And he looks at you both and goes, "You are guests of Madame Clara. Feel free to borrow any weapons you see fit."
Very well, thank you. By the way, now that I have this, where can I sign up for a fight?
Ah, yes, that would be in the Undermansion.
Understood. Thank you very much.
I'm sure
then-
you'll hear the bookkeepers shouting for anybody who's willing to fight and wants to make some gold. But as guests of the family, I'm sure you could also get one of the, shall we say, premier fight tickets from Lady Hikara.
Oh. Excellent. Thank you very much. Can you point me in the direction of how to get there?
And he gives you, like, a quick direction. Yes, just go back, down the stairs in that corner, follow the stone staircase down, and for you, you'll have fairly free reign, but most of the brokers will be in the floating cages.
I see. Thank you.
Zach, do I notice anything like do these just look like normal weapons, or can I see if they have any sort of like magic imbued in them or stuff like
Formith
that?
said that most of them, basically everything down here would likely be mundane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's nothing obviously magical about them. They seem well maintained. All of them have kind of like the reds and blacks. So like the pommels where like you wrap the leather around, it has been dyed in red and black for the Rakdos colors. But beyond that, they seem to be fairly standard weapons.
Okay.
So Tavro, you gain a greatsword.
Excellent.
Like there's nothing
and-
special about it. It's just a greatsword.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing real quick. I know because I don't think Tavro would know it because we don't have a bard. Because bardic inspirations typically go away after 10 minutes. I'm not sure.
It
can I
does
get
fade
a fight within that time?
You can't quite get into battle within 10 minutes of discussing with Yovas. But he did say,
definitely.
if you let him know when you're fighting, the band will play you on.
Yes. And so as we're walking, I'm gonna look to Gideon, I'll look to Escher because he's here, and I'll be like, do you think you could run to the garden when I'm ready and tell Yovas and the others to get ready? Or Gideon,
And
if we want
he
someone
goes,
who's here or not.
Of course I could. I can send any number of colony to go get them. But if you insist, I'll go.
Yes.
Yeah, Gideon,
So-
Gideon says he will go get the troop when it's time for him to go on.
Gotcha. Yeah, and not right now. First, we have to actually get me signed up for a fight. But yeah, we'll go down there and look for a broker.
Yeah,
Right,
when
you
it's
should
time for you to
go-
go on.
You should scope out what enemy you're going to be fighting, or at least try to.
Yes, I don't think I'm going to try for that like upscale ticket first. I might see what like a regular enemy down here might count as.
I do have protection from energy, so if you can figure out if it has like fire damage, that might be able to give you resistance to that.
Yes. So I'm gonna go downstairs and look for a broker.
All right, yeah. So you make your way down into the undermansion fight pits. You see as this is happening, like the sparring in the middle is beginning to end, and the first actual fight is getting underway, and you hear some of the bookkeepers calling out about the fight that's about to happen. Last chances to place bets for the first fight of the morning. Now, this is an exciting one. It's a bit of a warm-up, but it's not often that you get to see a full-performing troop take on a chain demon, is it now? So, bets are going in now, 1 to 10 on the chain demon. If the troop wins, you get your 10 gold, but you get your gold 10 times back. Bet on the demon, you get it doubled. And you just like hear them. Yeah, so you just hear them all like calling this out, and then you're able to pretty easily track down one of the people calling out for this.
Yes, and I'll walk up and I go, first of all, I'd like to bet some money on that first fight. Second of all, can you get me a fight?
Ah, yes, we have another prospective gladiator. Are you voting, are you betting on the demon or the performing troupe? And he, like, starts flipping through his books. The druggers.
Yes, I'll put 10 gold on the troop. Unless there's a limit before that.
No, very good. So, 10 gold on the troop winning, 100 gold back if they do.
And do I get, like, a receipt for that, or...?
And, like, yeah, he, like, tears out a ticket and hands it to you.
Gotcha.
And, like, you see, like, 10 to 1 odds written on it, and, like, there are two, like, names. There's, Chain Demon and the Druggers, and the Druggers is circled.
Gotcha.
And you kind of see as, like, you're around, and you're in right now in one of the hanging cages where, like, the audience is watching. There are a few cages that are closer to the center that each have what seem to be, like, kind of larger demons, like, hanging onto them. And he goes, "You're looking for a fight?" And he starts pointing around at the various demons. "Do you have a pick? You're early enough that you still have quite the choice."
I get to choose which one I fight.
And you know what? I'm going to put you on this map just so that you can see the various ones hanging around.
Sure.
You know what? It's fun. I'm just going to put you all on this for a second. Because I think you're also going to end up meeting up down here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if Clara sees Tavro, like, going to check in, she's gonna try to, like, slip away from her family and go find the group. But,
Yeah,
you know,
so
she's also drunk, so she's kind of just, like, stumbling around.
You are able to find places, like, outside from where your family is. That being said, for the ease of this map, I'm just going to put you all on the bottom where the, like, throne viewing area is. But you can go up to the cages and the rafters to get away from them to actually talk privately. But you see, like, the chain demon getting ready as the rest of them circle around this demon who's in the middle, and you see kind of like the chains that are holding up the platform begin to wiggle and come alive as the fight is getting ready to begin. And you see in the various cages hanging over the pit, there are these large demons that are kind of like pushed up against and like watching, hooting along to the fights. The ones you can see are your choices, Tavro.
Aha.
And if you have any questions, or if you would like to know if you know anything about them, I can share art and stuff, but in reality, you probably don't know too much about these.
Yeah,
demons
really
are
do
not common outside of Winlot. Even in Winlot, like, this is a spectacle that there are so many decently powerful demons just around.
Right. Can I ask one of the brokers and just be like, I plan to fight, at least, you know, a couple fights today. What do you have that, what do you have that isn't, you know, towards the very top of your strongest demons? I said that completely fucked up, but
And he kind of like points over and goes, "If you're looking for a warm-up fight, although none of them are going to be particularly easy," and he points over to this area and goes, "The Babao is strong. Good enough for a good fight, but amongst our fiend-blooded gladiators today, probably your safest bet. Are you fighting alone?"
yes.
That should be good odds for us. Let's say, to start off, 1 to 5 against you.
Fuck. Now let's go.
And you get, if you win, you get 10% of all bets made. If
Understood.
if
If
people
I-
make
if I
2,000
accept, how
gold on
soon
your
is the
bets, and he kind of like flips through, probably about half an hour. We do have some other fights that have already been lined up. You're welcome to continue betting and watching the thing, and you see already as like the chain demon is starting to fight back against these troop members who are breathing fire on it and jabbing it with spears, but the chains are now writhing around and reaching out, slashing through the various troop members fighting it. It's still too early to see exactly who's gonna win, but the demon seems to be holding its own, even against the 7 people fighting it.
Gotcha. So it looks like the arena is pretty separated from the viewing stands. Is that correct?
Yes, so like the viewings,
Shit.
you can only see the cages with the demons over it, but like there are tons of cages just hanging, and that is where all of the viewers are watching from. So you are like
Gotcha.
above the pit looking down on the fight.
Aha, I see. Okay, then maybe I can actually save my voice thing for the performance later.
Yeah, you're hanging about
Yes.
20 feet above the fight arena, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I just didn't want to put a shit ton of, or I didn't make the map, but like I didn't want one with a shit ton of cages all over the top of it, obscuring the view.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll accept that.
Very good. All right, we have. Oh, sorry. What is your name, Challenger?
Tavro.
Tavro the Minotaur against the Babao in 30 minutes. 5 to 1 odds on the Babao winning. And you hear as like some people are shouting out. Most people betting on the Babao winning. A few of them betting on you, hoping to beat the odds, and betting on you to make them some good money. And as you kind of wrap this up, I will say this is when Clara now catches up to you, and Fawks and Kai, if you were heading down here, you can all meet up in the kind of rafters looking down onto the fight pit.
When they're yelling out money for Tavro, Clara walks up and goes, "He's my bestest friend. I put 20 golds," and she like slaps some money up on the table.
You have 20 gold to spend?
She do.
Okay then. 20 gold at 5 to 1. The latest of Hikara's bloodline is wagering for a 100 gold profit on the Minotaur. And you hear as like this happens, and a bunch of people start shouting like, can I change my bets to Tavro? A few other people who weren't betting yet are like, let's get on Tavro. And then some of them are like, fuck this, I'm going real against the odds, and they're putting like a ton of gold on the demon. But so this is all kind of going on, and you're able to slink off to the side to have your conversation.
Yes. One thing, can I send Escher off now to tell the troops so they can be ready in half an hour?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's only like 5 minutes for them to return, so they are ready for you to go on.
Gotcha.
Can I also place a bet for 15 gold?
Alright, let me actually write down all the bookkeeping.
Is there a limit to bet sizes?
Limits to bet sizes are equal to 10 times whatever the odds are. So, maximum bet for a 1 to 5 would be 50 gold.
I'm putting 50 down.
I'm putting 20 on Tavro.
Not
I'm
only are we gonna lose a friend, but we're gonna lose a lot of money.
Alright, so, sorry. Tavro, you are betting on the troop how much? You said 10
10.
gold?
So if we're 10 to 1, it's 100 if I win.
Yep.
If they win.
Tavro, I have a few things that might be able to help enhance your odds. I don't know if you, I don't know
Yes.
how fast I can get to you before the match, but I have one that lasts an hour. That would be enhance ability. That could give you a little bit of temporary hit points and advantage on constitution checks. Oh wait, what is that? I
Oh.
mean strengths against enduring horrific blows to your health. Good.
I will go up to Fawks and just be like, yeah, so, Fawks, I thought this was gonna be more, I knew there were gonna be demons here, but I thought it was gonna be more human v human fighting. So, yeah, just make sure I don't die.
It's a fiend, right?
Yes.
I've never used this. I prepared it because we're coming to Rakdos. But I could give you protection from evil and good.
Oh.
That would make it harder for it to attack you. But
Sure.
the problem is, that only lasts 10 minutes. So I would have to get to you right before the match starts.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know how protocol is for the getting ready for the match.
You step in.
Gotcha. Great. Yeah, so that should work fine.
Alright, so just to keep track, Clara, you put 20 gold on Tavro. Fawks, you said you were putting 50 gold on Tavro?
Yeah.
Is anybody Gideon, you said you were also making a bet. How much?
Yeah, I'm putting 20 gold on Tavro.
Hey, big cow man, I want you to have this. And she grabs one of her grenades she made and puts it in his hand.
Like one of them from like the first session.
From the
Yeah,
black powder
she's-
box?
She still has some.
Yeah, because you've used 2 so far, and I think you got 5,
have
so...
Oh,
You'd have-
it says I have 2 in my
Oh,
inventory
okay,
right now.
so you must have used 3 so far.
How do
So,
I use this?
Well, you use it and it does 60d6 damage.
Well, you just pull right here, but be careful because you don't wanna blow yourself up. So it's better if you throw it away from you.
You just pull right here and she pulls the pin out.
yeah. So, basically, there's like this small bag with a little fuse at the top that she hands you. It's kind of rubber banded together, and it feels almost as if there's sand inside of it. And basically how this works is when you throw it, it can be thrown up to 40 feet. You have to make a dex check when you do it, just like a straight DC 15 dexterity check. If you fail, the grenade explodes before it gets out of range for you. It is a...
Like
Oh, it
what
hits you?
happened
Yeah.
with Clara.
If you're in
The last
range-
time this
yeah.
happened, we lost Clara for 6 months.
Everything in the range takes 5d6 piercing damage from the shrapnel on
what
a
the
failed
fuck?
DC 15 dex save, or half as much on a successful save.
I see. Thank you, Clara.
Just be really careful that you don't blow yourself up, okay?
Yes, I'll be certain.
Okay, good.
Are we all, like, right there?
Yeah, I'm saying that you're all together at this point.
Okay. Kai's just gonna lean over to Gideon and just whisper, like, honestly, the less of those she has right now, the better.
I concur.
Alright, Tavro, I do need to know where you are keeping this.
In my bag?
Okay. Sounds good.
Better hope your bag doesn't get too hot.
When Kai arrives the room, Claudia's oh, Mr. Kai, I think my mama might be a bad person.
No.
Sorry, at this point, there is a small frog that just jumps onto you, and you hear an Aldrich's voice as the frog puts out a hand with a copper piece in it and goes, "One on Tavro." Sorry, please continue, Lizzie.
That voice, it sounds so familiar.
But like, she told me that my aunt was bad, so I thought, yeah, duh. But now it kind of sounds like he might be the bad guy, and they don't know what to do. And also, I drank this funny thing from Zorilla, and now I can't really feel my feet.
Laura, unfortunately, I took off Lesser Restoration, so you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of your actions.
I've never consumed these type of things before. It's scary.
Hold on, Clara. I just hand her, like, my water flask, just like, you know, like you hand to a water bottle to a drunk person.
And she just starts guzzling.
No. Small sips. And Clara, if there's anything I've learned, especially since we've met, it's best not to focus on who is good and who is bad in this world. Everybody has different definitions in their own eyes. Your mother did not lie to you that she believed your aunt to be evil. In her eyes, that's how it is, and what she's doing is good. To us, it may seem different, and I do agree, it may be best to try to stop her, but don't worry yourself with the morality of it all.
No, Clara. Worry yourself with the morality. Worry yourself.
Like, I'm really feeling a lot of things in my brain right now.
Laura, those are called emotions.
What?
How about you focus on feeling things in your feet?
And she kind of just like sits on the ground and starts drinking the water again.
Fawks and Kai, are you doing anything other than just looking around right now? I'm assuming you're kind of not being conspicuous while talking with the party. But you all hear now as, "And the chain demon finishes off the last of the druggers. They have put up a serious fight, but unfortunately they were no match for the fiendish blood." And you hear as, like, everyone's, like they're handing out just a little bit of money to a few people. Some of people are, like, cursing under their breath. And you see as some of the kobold servants come out to, like, drag off the corpses. And instead of, like, dragging them off, they kind of just push them into the center so that they fall into the lava below. And then the, like, chain demon just kind of, like, puts up his hands, the chains around him. He lets out, like, a cheerful cry and then starts walking off the center of the pit. "I believe our next fight is Tavro versus the Babao.
Oh, you're a fucking liar. You said there were more fights in between.
Well, I decided to change it
No,
up
that's
because
fair.
yeah,
Quick,
they said
quick.
we're moving some things around. It seems that a special guest of Lady Clara wishes to fight, so we're giving him the next ticket.
Oh, that's me.
And
And
that's me.
You see as the cage with the Babao, kind of like the door kind of just swings open and it jumps down into the center of the fighting pit.
Yeah.
I'm just
And,
gonna
Around this
cast a
time...
spell.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna cast a spell, slap Tavro on the ass, and say, "You've got 10 minutes. Hurry!"
Is Yovas here and everyone?
Yes, so as you're like setting out, you hear the kind of like heavy music coming from there's like a performer's pit, and you can hear as the music kind of like changes from the generic music that was playing for the fight as Yovas's troop takes over, and you gain 1 bardic inspiration. It is a D8 bardic inspiration that you can use this fight.
Gotcha. And as after like the guy who was saying like yeah, Vatara's gonna take him on, can I just like look up at him and be like, 5-1 odds against me? Got any tips?
And
Don't
he,
lose.
Yeah, he goes, "Don't die, kill him." And then he like slaps you on the back and goes, "Get out there!"
Yeah, and I'll start running out. It's me. I'm gonna get him.
It's Tavro.
All right. There are no surprise rounds. We're gonna start you both at just opposite sides of this center piece,
Gotcha.
and that is where we are going to roll for initiative.
Understood. Normal. No, I have advantage on that. I lied. I have advantage on that because I have the.
You did get a
You
net
rolled
20.
a 20.
Never mind. I'm fine with that. Oh, he got a 22. The son of a bitch. Oh well. And
Is your
just to be clear,
dexterity 0?
yes, it was originally +1, but I changed it before I actually started in the campaign, so I could possibly turn into a cleric, which I did. So I have a +1 in wisdom instead of dexterity.
Yeah, because you need the base 13 wisdom to multi-class
Yeah,
cleric.
it's a multi-class.
All right. As the band begins to play you in, the Babao kind of like looks at you and lets out this like deep laugh and goes, "Ready, little cow?" And
Are you?
he is going to jump across. Oh,
Hi.
and he is going to immediately, you see that he is like wielding a spear, and he is going to try and strike you once with it.
Disadvantage.
Are you giving it disadvantage on this?
I cast a protection of evil and good on him.
Oh.
That is the spell.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll that because the 19 did hit.
Yes.
Also,
Using the great sword, my AC is 14.
so he's gonna roll again. So the first one would have hit. This is just to see if it still hits. So a 16. Okay.
That's alright.
And you feel as this spear kind of just like pierces down into your chest as he's like, you're not used to being towered over, but this thing is standing over you, pushes the spear into your chest, and then like kind of like grabs your face with its hands and tries to look at you in the eye. And that should have just triggered a Constitution save for you. Did it?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. What was that, DC? 13? I might roll that D8 now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fuck.
That brings you to 11, and as it kind of like you feel there's something strange about like the spear. It's almost as if it gets rebuffed for a second, but as it digs into you and it grabs your face and looks you in the eyes, you feel as you become weaker, and it's almost as if the strength is leaving you, and like your head is getting foggy. So for the next minute, you deal half damage with weapon attacks that use strength.
Fuck.
You do get to repeat the save at the end of your turn, though.
Gotcha.
All right.
Me turn?
Put up at least a little of a fight.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to. Why did it auto went elemental cleaver lightning? I'm fine with that. So I'm.
You
going
can
to,
change that if you would prefer to a different
no,
one.
lightning's. I was going to do lightning or thunder because I am not certain of anything else not being at least resisted. So yes, I will reckless attack.
That
Yes.
will hit.
Nice.
Jeez. Yeah, so you like cleave down onto this thing, and you're not. You remember from your past, there are things that can resist certain metals and alloys, and ever since you've picked up the Spear of the Legion, you haven't had to deal with that. But this great sword almost seems to be rebuffed a little bit as you sink it into its flesh, and then you send a jolt of lightning into it as well. But it almost seems to dissipate immediately, and like it goes into the ground as if it is being grounded by the platform you're on.
Fuck, that's not good. Anyway, I'm going to hammering horns him and try and push him back.
Also, you were supposed to do half damage on that.
Yes, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I just need to give him back a little bit of health.
Fair enough. And then I'm going to try and smack him again. Advantage? That do hit.
Yeah, he only gets an additional 2 health back from it being halved, but it is something. But yeah, and you cleave down again onto it, and once again, it almost feels as if it's being pushed back. But, oh shit, that was a max roll on your slashing damage. Nice.
Yep. And then I get to remake the roll, right?
Yes, so now
on
at the
my
end
turn.
of your turn, remake your Constitution save for the weakening gaze.
Fuck me.
1 short. And you are a... Oh, go ahead.
Can I use my inspiration on that?
Yes, if you would like to re-roll that with your inspiration, you
would.
can.
Because that fucking sucks. And I think with that, there's no way I win. Nice.
Yeah, like you feel your strength being sucked out and the fogginess in your head still. And then you remember, you are Tavro. You are gonna kill Borborygmos one day. This thing is nothing. And you are able to shrug it off. And it is looking at you and it goes, okay, at least you have something. Is that all for your turn?
Yes.
You see as its eyes kind of flash red for a second, and he goes, let's see how good you are without that sword.
Oh, fuck.
And you feel as the sword begins to burn in your hands. And I believe you need to make a check or drop the blade. Yeah, if the creature is holding or wearing the weapon or object, you must succeed on a Constitution save or drop it immediately. So, 1 more Constitution save from you.
Is there a way for me to see the spell description?
I will copy and paste it into chat.
Yeah.
As the Babao just says, heat metal. But you should be able to click that now.
It just says hidden.
Yeah. Hold
on.
I can just look it up real quick.
I'll just copy and paste the text. I thought I could drag it in for you. As the Babao takes a second to explain exactly what it is doing and the consequences of it.
This is an anime fight.
Gotcha.
You see, I'm going to make your blade too hot for you to hold. And if you decide that you do still want to hold it, you don't decide that you still want to hold it. Yeah, so it starts singeing your hands, and like you feel the burning through your calluses on your hands, and you immediately drop the greatsword. And it just gives you this like wicked smile and goes, "Now let's see what you can do." And that is all for its turn.
Gotcha. I need to think very carefully. Alright, hear me out. My hands are empty. That was a two-handed sword.
Correct.
Action. Bring out the shield. Free action. Take out the spear. Bonus action and rage.
You're ending your rage.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, because you want to change your cleaver type.
Yeah, and because right now the spear doesn't have the elemental cleaver.
Right. Gotcha.
Only the great sword did.
So that's your turn?
So yeah. Yep.
Oh, what? Are you gonna start running away now? I won't let you. And it goes to try and claw at you twice.
Go for it.
With disadvantage.
It does have it has a disadvantage on both these.
That is a
Nice.
nat 1. And then it goes to strike at you with its other claw.
Nice.
And misses. And, like, the first one, it just goes wide. You're able to dodge out of the way easily. The second one, it almost looks like it's about to hit you, and then just a spark of radiant energy almost, like, collides with it and stops it just before it sinks into your flesh.
Right.
Your turn.
Nice. This time I'm gonna do Elemental Cleaver Thunder. I'm gonna Rage again as a bonus action, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna try and fucking murder this guy.
And this is your Spirit
let me-
Legion, right?
Yes. Hold on.
Yes,
let me
that's
unequip the
magical.
greatsword from my inventory. Yeah, I should have thought of that beforehand. I will reckless attack. Nice.
Oh, shit.
Bitch.
Oh shit.
That's fine with me. He can keep on heating that sword on the ground. And then second attack. Advantage. That still hits.
That
I'm
will
fine
hit.
with that. Alright,
He
that was still a
really
good turn.
wants to keep that sword hot for some reason. But he is like shrieking in pain as you pull out your spear, you grow back to your monstrous size, and you just dig the spear, like you clip part of its throat, and you just see this black ichor coming out of it now, and you hear like the thundering booms of the shockwaves as it pierces the flesh of this demon, and it is just shouting in pain, and it goes, finally some fight. Is that all for you?
Yes. Its attacks are made normal now because I did reckless attack.
Correct.
But I got a crit out of it, so I'm fine with that. Actually, the first one was a crit, but
Hey, now it's normal instead of advantage.
yeah, it's
Yeah, normal instead of disadvantage. And this time he just goes, well, if you don't like fire, and he is going to hold up both of his hands and just send out a spray of fire onto you.
That's made normally. Hot damn.
Nice. So yeah,
Fuck you.
as you do, like as it reaches up its hands and you see the first sparks of flame come out, it still gets around, but you're able to pull up your shield and block the brunt of the flames. It still kind of burns your arm and a little bit as where it filters around the shield, but you block the brunt of it. And
Nice.
that will bring us back to you.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like a platform in the middle of like this open lava area, or is it mostly just open?
So in the middle is a platform. You are probably both too large right now to normally fall in. Like, you might be able to push him down into it, but like if he stumbled back,
not just push him over,
yeah,
right?
If he was a normal human, like medium size, you could probably just push him over and he might be able to tumble down. Right now, he would probably land at least partially on the platform in the middle.
That is fair enough. Okay, I will, unsurprisingly, Spear the Legion him. Am I targeting him? Yes. I will Reckless Attack, because I need it. I'll take it.
Somehow he is still concentrating, even as you are sending these ripples of thunderous shockwaves and pierces of pain throughout him.
I'll fucking do it again. Ooh.
Oh shit.
And then as a bonus action, just to get it in while I can, I'm going to first level healing word myself. Yes.
Okay.
Just to get a smidge back. Nice. That's my turn.
All right. And it is looking at you, and it is like there is fear in this thing's eyes.
Good.
And he continues looking at you, and then fuck this. And he's going to point a finger at you, and I don't actually think there is... Yes, okay, you're gonna have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Understood.
And I think that should have just triggered it for you.
Fuck.
He points a finger towards you, and you feel your grip on the ground disappear as you slowly start floating up. And then he just gives you a quick shove, which doesn't do any damage, but you slowly start floating to about here.
Ah.
That will be its turn. And you are
How
now...
high in the
You
air?
can
You are
do
now-
it, Tavro!
Yeah. You are now 20 feet above the stadium.
Understood.
Do the thing! Do
this-
the thing!
That's a fair point. But what is it? A DC 15 not to blow yourself up? Dex?
Yeah, so if you
That's
fail
horrible.
the dex check, if you fail the DC 15 dex check, it explodes when it's only 10 feet away, catching you in the radius.
Yeah, I ain't doing that shit right now. Not when 10 feet away isn't gonna hit him.
Can
'Cause
you
I'm
get your
20 feet
spear
in the
back
air.
after throwing it?
Yes, I can, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Let me just take a moment to thinko. Okay. I'll just look at the dude and be like, a desperate move, and I will... It's gonna be at disadvantage, but I will throw my Spear of the Legion at him. Actually, hold on just a second. I need to read something.
Why is it at disadvantage? Oh, yeah, you're further than 20 feet.
Yeah, because with Elemental Cleaver, it's the same ranges as Spear.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage. That don't hit.
An 11 is not quite enough to hit.
Boo.
As
Oh,
you...
it's still its turn on the
Oh,
round.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Just because it's like you have already used your reaction. Disadvantage. Bitch. Oh, that
A
would have been a
21
nat
will
20,
still
you
hit.
stupid asshole. That's good damage.
Alright. How do you want to do this?
Oh, that kills him.
And I'll just be like, as he like floats me up and shoves me, like just sets me like a volleyball. I just look at him and be like, what do you think that was going to accomplish? And just throw this shit and just like impale him, and then immediately just call it back. And then drop 20 feet.
Yeah, so you are gonna take a d6 of bludgeoning damage as you fall to the ground.
That will be halved though.
Yes. So you take 2 damage.
Yes.
You take 2 bludgeoning damage as you send out the spear. It misses the first time. It immediately reappears in your hand, and as it's like laughing at you as you're like fumbling in the air, you catch the spear, catches it in the throat, and then pins it to the ground. On this thing, you fall, landing. Like it hurts your knees a little bit, but you do land. You're upright, and you kind of like hear a bit of shocked silence from the crowd for a moment before cheering erupts all over. And the broker goes, "Well, I cannot believe it, but Tavro has won his first fight in the pits against the Babao." And you hear like just cheering and quite a bit of groaning. A lot of people bet against you for this.
Yeah.
But Clara gets 100 gold. Fawks gets 250.
Woo!
And Gideon also gets 100. But that is subtracted by the amount that you already... Like, if you didn't give up the gold earlier, just... You know what I'm saying, right? Like, you had to put down 20 to get 100 back. So you're really getting a profit of 80 if you didn't remove it earlier.
But as like the announcing and cheering is going after I win, I'm just gonna like walk up and push this guy and like shove him down into the lava.
Yeah, you do so. Like, you kick his corpse as you pull the spear out of his throat. And it just tumbles into the lava below. And you hear cheering. And you hear kind of like the elevated voice once again of Hikara as she calls out, "My daughter returned to us yesterday, a few days ago, and now she has brought powerful allies to help us in my crusade against my sister. This is proof of the strength that we will bring to reawaken Lord Rakdos. Tavro, fight again!"
Okay.
Hey, Tafro, what's your health?
48 out of 66.
And you see as, like, some kobolds are running down really quickly to just, like, wipe up some of the blood. And the broker calls down and goes, "Who do you want to fight next?"
Shit, I don't... Oh, what the fuck? Cancel.
And one of the kobolds who's down there just hands you a potion as well.
Oh! Is it red?
It is red.
Yes, I will down that shit.
It's a mimic.
It's a mimic, and now it's inside of you. You can have 2d4 plus 4 healing.
Excellent.
And you just hear as, like, the kobold goes, "Make Lady Hikara proud."
Will do, little one. Okay, that brings me up to 58. So that's pretty good.
How is this accurate in how close we are going to be from the stands to Tavro?
Yeah, I'd say about 100 feet is accurate.
Okay, so there's no way I could get within, say, 30 feet?
You can jump into the pit.
Could I get within 60 feet of him?
I'm gonna pee real quick. I'm sorry, I really got.
Clara, you could run down to the end of the platform because you're with your family and get within about 50 feet.
Clara's gonna go down and be like, Mr. Tavro, I told you to use the thing! You gotta do it next time, okay? Okay. And then she is gonna pull out her wrench and cast Healing Word on him.
Okay. And one other... I think this is probably a good place to end it given the time. But one thing for Tavro, which I know he just stepped away, but there is like an aura of bloodlust throughout this entire arena. You can maintain rage for free as long as you're in the fight pit.
Oh boy, minimum roll.
Yeah, Tavro.
But I think that is the end of our session, unless there's any last things someone would like to do.
I would like to offer myself up as the next challenger.
You can take his place if you'd like, or you could join him.
Oh, neither. As his challenger, sir.
Oh! Okay.
I'm going to kill Tafro.
Would you like to tell the bookkeeper that you would like to fight the Minotaur?
No.
Guys, I should play a hilarious prank and fight Tavro and turn him into a stone statue.
Yeah, you don't know how to undo that yet, do you?
No.
No.
I'm back.
Alright, so, is there one quick thing of bookkeeping? There is an aura of bloodlust throughout this entire arena. As long as you do not step outside of the fight pit, you do not need to take damage or a hostile action to maintain your rage.
Gotcha. That's good because I already lost one.
Yeah. As soon as you step outside of the pit.
Gotcha.
But like between fights, if you do consecutive fights, you can keep your rage up.
Yes. Tavro will look around at the remaining demons, knowing nothing about demons. And just look up and go, and like I'll put like a hand to my throat and thaumaturgy, so like I'm a bit louder, and just go, I do not know much about these demons. I am not Almighty Lady Hakara, but you may choose.
Oh no. I see a gorilla.
Yeah,
Oh.
That's not a gorilla.
even
It's
like metagaming, I don't know what the remaining ones are, so I have no idea what to pick. So
That's
maybe
fair.
maybe that guy,
Wait, which one did you ping?
the one in the bottom left. He looks the least scary, but I'm not
The
gonna pick.
skinny-
I'm
The skinny, smug demons are the ones that scare me more.
that's
They're the
fair.
spellcasters.
Yeah.
But he does
Yeah.
have like a club over his shoulder.
Or is that a staff?
Fuck.
And you hear as Hikara once again shouts out and goes, "Fine! Your party has come to express their strength. If you all get in the pit, I put down 50-1 odds."
Against us?
Against the demon.
Oh.
And then you see as creaking open is this one in the top right. And jumping down is a strange... And she goes... "A joint effort between the Izzet and the artificers of the Rakdos. It's time to see what our new technology can do.
Oh, it's the thing! It's the thing!
And you see as this
That's the electric robot.
You see as this strange, like, it... At first, it just looks like a strange, multi-armed, like, insectoid demon. But as it, like, jumps down and gets into the pit with you, you see that the skin around it is a thin layer of flesh, and inside is a series of clockwork cogs. I think you should be able to see it now.
Oh, what the fuck?
And this one kind of like jumps into the pit, and Hikaru calls out, "I suggest you let your friends help on this one."
Okay.
Fawks is hauling ass.
See, I thought it was gonna be the thing from the slaughter parade.
I think Fawks and I could take it.
And I think that is where we will end the session, with this thing jumping into the ring and the rest of you scrambling to join.
Clara's stepping up like, you want a piece of this? Yeah, you want a piece of this? Like, stumbling around still.
She's like holding up her fist.
Right.
Mhm.
You did succeed the Constitution save, so you won't have disadvantage on your rolls, but you are definitely drunk.